All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. So happy to be here with you all today. And Lesli Bitel here, business coach and mentor for integrative functional dietitians, nutritionists, and practitioners. So I am really excited. I am going to be dishing on literally my secret sauce to help you to enroll plenty of very committed clients into your practice. So I'm going to be sharing 6 steps, really, honestly, tried and true, really, in terms of this strategy, this blueprint that is going to help you to seamlessly take your client through that emotional journey. Uh, when you first have that first interaction with the client, let's say they reach out to you via your website, or maybe they find you on a directory listing, or maybe it's a referral. Regardless of how they find you, we have to have that initial conversation with them to help them to really get clear on, what's at stake for them if they don't change. And ideally to help inspire them to make a commitment to themselves to move forward and, really move towards achieving their vision for ideal health, right? So what I'm going to share today is my 6-step process that is going to help you to do that in such a way where it's really comfortable and authentic. And most importantly, it does not feel salesy. So with that being said, let me do a quick check-in. I'm curious. I'd love to get some feedback from you. So what comes up for you when you think about, this sales conversation or enrollment conversation? Remember, there's lots of different names for it. Discovery call, clarity call, whatever you want to call it. How does it make you feel when you think about having those conversations and talking about money? I'd love to get some feedback from you. If you want to just throw me a comment and just tell me in a word how that makes you feel. A lot of times when I ask this, people say, "Oh my gosh, yucky, stressed, uncomfortable, wish I didn't have to do it," all kinds of kind of negative connotations that are associated with that selling process. So we're going to go through this today. I'm going to share 6 steps that I think is going to really help you to reframe not only how you approach the conversation, but how you think about it in the first place, which is going to have some, I think, really a positive impact on the outcomes that you get. So, all right, so let's jump in. Let's see here. Here we go. So again, this is my 6-step enrollment system. It is really designed to help you to enroll loyal, high-paying clients in just one conversation. So this is the 6 steps that I'm going to share with you right now. So, all right, so step 1 is you want to enter this conversation with the right mindset. So step 1 is to adopt a winning mindset. Super, super important. So what does that mean exactly? Well, essentially, you have to come to the table, you have to come to this conversation from a place of authentic confidence, being really the true leader that you are, and seeing the potential client as an ally. Super, super important. And assuming, of course, that they're a perfect fit for your program. And the other thing that I really want to drive home here is that you absolutely must let go of your attachment or need for them to hire you. So we need to let go of the need to control the conversation and control the outcome. It's not to say that you're not going to try, right? Obviously, whoever you're talking with, they need help. Otherwise, they wouldn't have reached out to you in the first place. And so most likely it truly is in their highest interest to work with you or someone who can provide a solution to whatever it is that they're struggling with, right? So the thing that is really important in terms of positioning here is that you are coming from a place of authentic service and you are not preoccupied during the call with, intrusive thoughts such as, oh my gosh, do they like me? I hope it works out. I really need the client. I need to pay my bills this month. Like, you are literally letting those kinds of thoughts go. You're going to put them in a box, put them on a shelf, and just not go there. All right. So the mindset is super important. We want to come from a place of confidence, leadership. We're letting go of the need to control the outcome. And the other thing that I want to say on this topic is it's really helpful if you give the client a little bit of an agenda on how you like to run the conversation before you jump in. So it really is helpful because a lot of times people come to these conversations, they're a little bit nervous and they don't know what to expect. So I really would recommend that you just kind of give them like the 30,000-foot view of how you're going to run the conversation and what it is, like how's the conversation going to flow in terms of like the main beats of what you're going to be talking about with them. All right. So step one, adopt a winning mindset. Step two is to uncover the pain. All right. Super, super important. And what I mean by this is you absolutely must explore the gravity and severity of what's not working for your potential client. And you actually are going to really need to dig deep, right? Dig deep into the pain points, as well as the cost and impact of these problems and challenges. So, in other words, you're not going to take whatever they say is their problem. You don't want to take that for face value. You want to drill like 3-4 layers deeper than that to find out really what's underneath the problem, right? So let's say someone comes to you and they're like, well, just hypothetically, I need to lose weight. This extra weight I'm carrying around, this extra 20 pounds that I'm lugging around, that's my problem. All right. So instead of just kind of listening to that and saying, okay, so weight loss is your issue, you're going to dig deeper. You want to get underneath how is this carrying around this extra 20 pounds? How is this impacting? What is that costing her, right? How is it spilling over and impacting other domains of her life? And how does she feel emotionally about it? And if we can get your potential client to really start talking about the problem on a deeper, more visceral level, they in turn are going to drastically increase their awareness in terms of, what's at stake here, right? What's at stake if I stay on this current path that I'm on, right? So it's super important that you dig deep. All right. All right. So step three, then, after you uncover the pain, you're going to transition into painting the vision. All right. So what do I mean by painting the vision? Well, essentially, you must help your client, your potential client, be able to see what's possible for them. You want to help them to paint an exciting, emotional picture of really how they'd like things to be instead. And again, you're going to deepen that experience by exploring what are the payoffs? What are the payoffs if they were able to achieve their vision or even get closer to it? How is that going to spill over? How is that going to make them feel, right? How is that achieving that going to impact other domains in their life, such as maybe their career, maybe their marriage, maybe relationships? So we want to explore these things on a deeper, much deeper level, and really get them to articulate. So guys, we're not telling them, we are asking. And that is a critical difference here. We are not telling, we're not twisting arms, none of that. This is really a coaching conversation. This approach that I'm teaching you is very much based in coaching psychology. So really super important to recognize that. So essentially painting the vision, you're going to deepen the experience by exploring the true payoffs and the potential impact to their lives if they were able to achieve their vision. All right. So we want people to get really kind of viscerally attached to what's possible. All right, so then step 4 is to boldly present your offer. All right, so when I say boldly, I don't mean obnoxiously. I don't mean we're going to mow them over and just, be super salesy. In fact, it's the exact opposite. So by now in the conversation, if you've gone through this flow, you have essentially helped your client to see the gap, right? The gap is so very important. They see the gap between where they are now, point A, to where they want to be instead. We'll call that point B. They see the gap. Wow, that's a lot of space in between point A and point B, right? I got a lot of work to do. So you've already helped them to see and recognize the gap. At this point in time, what you're doing is you're helping them to recognize that your solution, your program, your process, your services are what is going to help them to cross that gap, to cross that bridge, to take them from point A, which is really struggling, having a difficult time, being unsuccessful, being super frustrated, overwhelmed, confused, all those, negative feelings that they're carrying around. Your service, you're positioning your service as the solution that's going to close the gap, to take them from where they are now, point A, to point B, which is where they want to be instead. That is the ticket. So, I definitely, so if it's a fit, right? So by now you've established, you've had an opportunity to talk with a person, and you're able to assess, generally speaking, whether or not this person is a good fit for what you do. And if it is a fit, at this point, step 4, you are going to powerfully present your offer. And the thing that I want to really highlight here, guys, is that, and this is honestly probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see, is that quite often what tends to happen is people, we present the offer, right? But we do so in a way that kind of is a little deflating to the client. We focus a ton on the process, right? Like our process, okay, you're going to get X number of sessions. We're going to do this program. It's got like X, Y, and Z, different things included in it, number of sessions, how long the session is, or maybe you go down the rabbit hole with describing, like if you do testing, for example, right? Maybe you do food sensitivity testing. So in this step, a big mistake is kind of going down the rabbit hole, describing that process and explaining exactly the science behind that test, right? People don't care about that. We care, like we're kind of nerdy in that way, right? We really care about like how the test works, how our process works, but they don't really care, is really the truth of the matter. So what I'm suggesting here in step 4, boldly presenting the offer, is that you enter this phase by highlighting the potential results and transformations that the client is likely to achieve, assuming they do their part, of course. And we really, open the conversation. You could say something like, and again, this is super authentic, right? So basically, you've had this conversation and you're ready to go into step 4. So you could open it up by saying something like, after, you could summarize. I would probably summarize, and I would say, so basically then what I'm hearing is, you're really struggling with X, Y, and Z. It's having a super negative impact on, your life, your quality of life because of blank. And what you really want to achieve then, it sounds like, is blank. And this is important to you because blank, right? So it's just a nice summary. And then I might even say something like, so tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm curious, how important is this for you? How important is it for you to go from, really struggling and having a lot of challenges and just being overwhelmed, essentially being stuck. How important is it you to go from stuck to over here, and you just kind of reiterate their vision? How important is it to you on a scale of 1 to 10? So most likely they're going to say, oh my God, it's the most important thing. It's a 10. My whole life would shift if I were able to overcome this problem and get closer to achieving my goals. So that is a great segue into step 4, which is boldly presenting your offer. And so you could kind of, I think, comfortably go into that part of the conversation by saying something like, well, first of all, based on everything you're describing, I really want you to know that I think I really have faith that you can do this, right? Oh my gosh, you're that beacon of light for the person. They probably never have heard anyone say, you know what, I believe in you. I think you can do this. Okay, so that is an awesome thing to say. And then you can just say, and you know what, I really think I can help you. Would you like to hear what that would look like? Super authentic, no arm twisting, no bulldozing. It's just a really nice way to transition into presenting your offer. All right. So then I would go on to say, assuming they say yes, they want to hear about it, I would say, well, I have a program. It's called blank. It's ideal if you give your program a name. And this program is designed to result, result, result. Okay. It's designed to help you to, normalize your eating, listen to your hunger fullness cues, potentially, hopefully decrease your propensity to, starve yourself during the day, only to binge at night and then beat yourself up again, right? Or beat yourself up at night. And it's also, I really think it's going to be helpful to help you to, cue into your hunger and fullness signals. And ultimately, really, I think you're going to really notice quite a dramatic increase in energy, vitality, right? And you're going to finally be able to get off that diet merry-go-round once and for all. Guys, I just am making this up in the moment. It's just one example. But you see how instead of going right into, I have this program and you're going to get, we're going to work together for 3 months and you're going to get like 6 sessions. They're each going to be 45 minutes long, right? Like it's not super juicy or compelling. So you want to open this part, boldly presenting your offer, by really talking about what's possible, reiterating those potential results. What is your program designed to do? You guys got to be able to talk about that. You're not promising, you're not guaranteeing, but you are saying, this is my program. And here's what it's designed to help you to achieve. Have to be able to articulate that. And if you can't, we need to talk. All right. Email me. Let's talk. Okay. So so we're on boldly presenting your offer, which again is step 4. So again, if it's a fit, you're going to powerfully present your offer. You're going to lead with results, not all the processes. And you're going to present your pricing and payment plans very strategically and influentially in a way that demonstrates the exponential value that your program provides. Okay, super, super important. All right, so then step 5 is overcoming objections and answering questions. So most likely at this point, you've talked, you've created that gap. The client is getting really clear on what's at stake if they don't change, what's possible for them if they do grab the lifeline that you're throwing out to them, you're offering, and you presented yourself as the solution to the struggle, right? You've effectively positioned yourself as a way to get them from point A to point B, okay? So, and you've also talked about the money part, which honestly really can stress many of you out. I know that for sure. But hopefully, if you follow this format, I do think it's going to really mitigate some of the stress around talking about money, because you're not selling yourself, right? That's the biggest message here. is you are not, if you feel like you're selling yourself, you're doing something wrong. Because it's really, you can see this is not even about you, it's about them. Okay. So very important. So, so again, step 5 is overcoming objections. And if your client has hesitation, such as I can't afford it, oh, I'm just worried I won't get the results, or I need to think about it, uh, honestly, guys, you got to dig deeper. Okay. You must dig deeper. You're really doing that person a favor by digging deeper to try to understand what's getting in their way. Okay. A lot of times, I can't afford it is masking. It's just a really good kind of excuse, I guess you would say, for something that's deeper. Now, to be crystal clear, some people cannot afford your services without a doubt. Okay. Not denying that for a split second because it's really true. However, I'm going to challenge you. If you hear I can't afford it, I want to challenge you to dig deeper and to really ascertain, is that really the truth with a capital T? Or is there something else going on that's contributing to them saying I can't afford it? You know, some fear. These clients that we work with have very long history of struggling, right? They perhaps been sick for a long time. They probably spent a lot of money, trying to resolve this problem. And they don't have a high degree of confidence right now that their problem has a resolution, right? So, quite often, what I have found is that these objections that show up as, I can't afford it or I need to think about it, really are coming from a place of self sabotage and really honestly represent fear more than anything else. All right. So that is your job to really kind of tease apart what is happening here. Is it really they can't afford it? Or is there something else going on? Because the reality is, like, if you've had this conversation, you've gone through the process, clearly they've made it crystal clear how much they're suffering with the problem. And they've also said, my goodness, if I could change this, my entire universe would shift for me in a positive way. Okay. So generally speaking, if someone really, really, really wants something and they are convinced that you are the right solution, quite often, not always, guys, I'm never saying always, but often they can find a way to make it work, right? Like we've all had to make, shifts and sacrifices short term to do something that we think is really going to be of value. And that's what I want you to try to uncover in this phase. So, and the other little tip I want to share is that essentially by uncovering what's going on and helping that person honestly get out of their own way, right? And really be courageous and work through that fear. If you are able to discover and uncover these underlying issues, um, you are, I can almost promise you that your client is going to thank you later, truly, because they probably have a history of this kind of behavior, right? And by you taking the time and kind of coaching them through this, you're doing them a huge favor, right? This could be an opportunity for a huge breakthrough, quite frankly, and helping them to step up to that next level. So I don't want you to be shy about this. I don't want you to be confrontational, of course. You're very gentle. But you're not just shying away. You're not saying, okay, fine, can't afford it. All right, talk to you later. Good luck. Okay, you're coming from a place of deep, desire to serve, and you're just taking the time to explore. So I have a lot more thoughts on that. Maybe we can do a whole live on overcoming objections. That might be something that we do in the future. So anyway, step number 6 is to use stick strategies to immediately engage the client. So if you have somebody that, like, you've got a client that says yes, like Yes, I'm in. I'm super excited. What I recommend at that point is that you immediately engage them. Okay. So you don't want to just, you don't want to like take forever to get the paperwork out, to get them booked. You want to immediately engage them. And the reason is buyer's remorse is real, right? Quite often when we make a big decision that, is an important decision, maybe, there's a financial money at stake here. Uh, it can be difficult. And quite often, even though we're excited about our decision to move forward, we may have some anxiety that crops up that causes us to second guess our decision. And so that is very, very common in this kind of scenario with clients. So basically, here I am a great way to mitigate this kind of reaction, that escalating anxiety about a decision to move forward, would be to get them engaged quickly. Bottom line, I really highly recommend however you can engage them, whether it be a questionnaire, an assessment, whatever it is, let's do it. All right. So those are my 6 steps. And I think I'll just kind of summarize them real quick for you right now. All right. So, first step in the 6-step process is to adopt a winning mindset, right? And really, here, you're letting go of the attachment or the desperate need for them to hire you, because people really have radar to that. And you don't want to come across that way. So, you're going to come to the table with authentic confidence and being a true leader. Number 2 is uncovering the pain. Okay. So you really must explore the gravity of what's not working for the client and really dig deep into those pain points. Number 3 is painting the vision. So you're going to help your client see what's possible, help them to paint that picture of what they want their life to look like instead, what they think their life will look like once they move towards achieving their vision. All right. And then step 4 is you're going to boldly present your offer. And we talked quite a bit about the importance of leading that part of the conversation by talking about the potential for results and transformations versus opening that part, going down the rabbit hole, talking about your process. Number 5 is deal with the objections, answer questions. Guys, don't, this happens a lot. I hear it happening a lot where there's a sense of withhold. You can sense it, but you don't say anything, right? And honestly, that's a really big mistake. So when you're on that call, on, the video call, and you're sensing something is amiss, my recommendation is you try to get underneath what's happening for the person. So otherwise, most likely, if you don't address it on that conversation, it's just going to solidify overnight. And like if the person's thinking, it's probably just going to be a no, right? It might be a no anyway, but I feel like at least you try to get underneath what is really happening for them. Is it really the money? Is there something about the program that, maybe we need to tweak? Or is it a fear? Are they afraid that if they spend all this money, that they're going to be, left, the one person that doesn't get these results, right? So that's also very common. And then number 6 is you want to use stick strategies to immediately engage that client. So you must, as soon as that client says yes, you want to get them started, using specific tools and strategies to keep your client engaged and excited about what's to come and really confident that they made the right decision. All right. So those are the 6 steps. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know, how you think you could integrate these 6 steps into your own clarity and discovery calls. All right. So, all right. I hope this was helpful, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.